Hello, it's the second episode in the Building an SG series. If you haven't watched the first episode, go back and watch that. We explained all the painting process and everything. But yeah, let's start building the guitar, I guess. First off, we're going to be changing the nut. I did this still with the primer on, but it wouldn't make much of a difference if you did it with the paint. You just got to be a lot more careful basically. You're going to use a razor blade to cut around the nut. Make sure it's all separated off from the neck. And then you're going to get a block of wood and a hammer and you're just going to knock it off basically. And to glue on the nut, I just used Gorilla Glue and I put it on the nut itself, and then I put the nut in place, and then I used some little clamps that I found to just make sure it stayed in place while the glue dried. So next we're going to go over the grounding paint that I put in, and yeah, there's not a lot of explaining to do really. I just taped off the rest of the body and just painted it basically. The only thing to bear in mind is it wasn't that high quality paint that I used, and when I plugged the guitar in for the first time it wasn't very quiet and there was a lot of humming. I'm not sure whether this is down to the grounding paint or my grounding job on the soldering, but just bear that in mind basically. So next we're going to be putting in the bridge and tailpiece studs. For this you'd usually use a mallet or a hammer and block of wood, but the holes for the studs that I had were a bit too small, so I basically put some grease on the studs and then put them in with the mallet, and then use the block of wood and hammer just to make sure they're seated and they are flush with the body. So next we're going to be fitting the humbuckers. As you can see in that last clip, the humbuckers were already in. That was because the wires for the humbuckers were too thick for the hole that they had to go through to the electrics cavity, and it was like an hour of me and my dad trying to push and pull these wires through, and we eventually go through, but I'm obviously not going to put that footage in because it makes us look stupid. But anyway, to fit the humbuckers we basically used this little pokey tool to poke holes where we needed to drill holes for the screws, I guess. Yeah. After doing that with both pickups, my dad got the drill because I'm incapable and I didn't want to mess it all up. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory from here. We just drilled holes and then screwed on the pickups. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please stay tuned for the third part of the series.